Hey everyone, welcome back to a kind of long overdue episode of the Ramen Stand podcast. It's been a minute, but we are here to talk about some good old anime, and there's Kai being as energetic as ever. Gotta love it.
Let's do
Hell
it.
yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So in this episode, we're talking about isekais in general, just the big old genre of isekais. But before we get into that, there has been, oh boy, there's been some anime news in between last episode and this episode, especially about a certain series, JoJo's Bizarre Fucking Adventure. So the first thing, the first thing is, so as I mentioned in the last episode, how they kind of like said that, there was like an announcement of JoJo Part 6 having their event on July 8th. Yeah. So they had that event. And it's pretty much this being like, hey, officially, JoJo Stone Ocean is coming out worldwide on Netflix on December. We don't know exactly when, but this year in December it's going to come out worldwide on Netflix premiered, which that's tight.
That's sick as fuck. And like, honestly, I'm so amazed at like the reach Netflix has now. Do y'all remember when you had to fucking mail the CDs back and shit, or the DVDs? But now we've got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure coming out, and we've also got that live action Cowboy Bebop coming up.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how you guys felt about that, because I think it looks pretty fucking sick.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, no, definitely. It looks pretty good. I feel like this is one of those live action shows that actually seems promising.
Right. Like it looks like it definitely
anime.
looks like it's very doable. And John Cho is a very fine man, so I'm very excited.
Goddamn right. But yeah, that's great that like Netflix is doing all these things for anime to make it more accessible. Because I mean, even previously too, like there were some anime that like would come out on Netflix, but not necessarily worldwide, like Beastars or Baki the Grappler, for example. Like they'd be on Netflix, but only in Japan for a while, and then they'd put it on for us in America. But with JoJo, like no, straight up, it's going to be available worldwide. Most likely not all the episodes. I highly doubt that. It's probably just going to be, once a week. Here's the first episode. Here's the second episode. Such and so, and all that stuff, But either way, that's fucking awesome. I'm very excited for that. JoJo Part 6 is great. Looking forward to it. More JoJo news. JoJo Part 8 JoJolion is now over with 110 chapters, which, man, that's insane. I've been following JoJolion for a while. Not when it first came out, because it first came out in 2011 and only recently ended this year. So it's been going on for 10 years, which, fucking insane. It's good. It's a very good part, very different from a lot of the other parts, as we'll see later on with our JoJo review series. It's very interesting, very unique. The ending is honestly kind of, it's okay. It's in terms of like it leaves a lot of plot holes. You know what I mean? It kind of does one of those, but it does have like a very wholesome ending, which is nice. And then with that, actually, with the ending of JoJo Part 8, Hirohiko Araki, the creator of JoJo, also announced that Part 9, well, not necessarily Part 9, but pretty much he's going to continue JoJo, and the current title is called JoJo Lands. But it's most likely going to be Part 9. So yeah, Araki is going to continue with JoJo after he takes a small break from Part 8. So I'm excited for that too. Which honestly, actually, with this is going to be like the Western audience's first time experiencing a brand new JoJo series, because like for us, JoJolion came out in 2011, but we didn't really the JoJo boom didn't really happen until Part 1 came out in 2012. So like we didn't really get to experience like Araki coming up with something brand new for the first time here in the West. So it'd be cool to like see something brand new like that everybody can see now that JoJo's so popular, which is nice. And then moving away from JoJo, we got some fucking Bleach news. Anybody remember that series? Bleach?
It's like the fucking breakthrough
I know.
for most people in our
generation. Yeah, it really is. Like one of the big three: Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Those were the big three.
I thought they were
in our generation.
done for real.
No, not at all.
Not even close.
Sort of. Not even close. So the thing with Bleach is that it did finish, but the creator of Bleach, Tite Kubo, he made like a 78-page chapter one-shot like that takes place after the finale of Bleach. It's basically just like a big homage to all the shit that we saw previously, just sort of like a small sequel. We're not necessarily sure if it's going to continue, because I did read it and like, oh shit, it was fucking amazing. And like the way it ends, it feels like he might continue the series, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, that was really cool to see that Tite Kubo still cares about the series and made like that for the fans, which is awesome. And then the final news is about another series that, oh man, this is pretty heartbreaking. Well, heartbreaking in like a good sense, is that Berserk is coming out with a new chapter in September.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
But didn't
This
the guy like?
Yes.
Is it gonna be closure?
He did die.
I'm guessing.
No, it's the last chapter that he made.
Okay. So are they gonna continue it post this last chapter, or?
I'm hearing a lot of news about that because he does have assistants, and they actually even created, while he was still alive, they were creating another series solely to practice their digital art skills and have his assistant artists like sort of like copy his art style. And so there's a lot of speculation that maybe they will continue Berserk, but there's not 100% confirmation about that. But yeah, this chapter that's coming out later in September is the last chapter that I can't believe I fucking forgot his name. Holy shit, I feel bad.
That's okay. The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, Kentaro Miura. That's right. Yeah. This is the last chapter that he made that's going to come out later this year in September. So definitely going to read the fuck out of that, boys.
God damn it.
But yeah, it's crazy to think about. Anyway, moving on from the sad news. So we're going to get into our main topic, which is about fucking isekai anime in general. So, Cole, can you explain to me what the fuck is an isekai?
So basically, it typically starts off like some hugless, kissless virgin or some other neat, someone who's like very down in life, right? They're like, man,
loser.
my life fucking sucks. Yeah, basically a loser. They either get like killed in some way, most popularly like by a truck or something, and they get transported into a world that's like leagues better than the world they were in. And then it's typically I guess fantasy type of deal, supernatural type
it's like
of
a supernatural power fantasy kind of thing. And like honestly, I feel like nowadays this is probably the second biggest genre in anime. Like,
oh, definitely
one below shonen. Do you guys agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of crazy isekais coming out.
And they're crazy titles.
Definitely.
Yeah, with that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah, like they just tell the whole story.
Yeah, like come on now.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about light novels, is that it's literally, the entire title is literally just the premise of the show.
Exactly, like that's the whole plot.
Yeah, like I was actually just looking. I was actually just looking up a couple, and like one of them that I found was Busy Wizard. This warlock just wants to provide for his wife. Like,
that's actually pretty wholesome. That's really wholesome.
Yeah, that's very wholesome. Or like another one that I found, Me, a Genius. I was reborn into another world, and I think they've got the wrong idea. Like, it's just, the premise is the title of the show. That's ridiculous. Like fucking Naruto. It's just called Naruto. It's about Naruto. You know, it's just one word. You don't need to put a fucking paragraph.
Yeah, there you go.
But
and we went from Naruto and Inuyasha to fucking these whole
long
piece of statements. Yeah.
Yeah, to just a paragraph. Yeah, I love it.
It's their hook. It's their only hook now.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, so isekais definitely has been a big thing, I feel like, within this past decade. But isekais were huge way back then. Like back in the 90s is when it first became popular with a lot of shoujo anime, which for those who don't know, shoujo anime is anime that primarily targets girls, and then, you know, of course, shonen mainly targets boys, but of course anybody can watch whatever they want. So they had, back then, a lot of anime in the 90s with like shoujo anime were isekais. Like some examples that I found are called Fushigi Yugi, From Far Away, Red River, The Vision of Escaflowne, and Magic Knight Ray Earth. I never heard of any of these shows, but those were like a lot of the popular ones in the 90s that were about girls being transported to a fantasy world. And then I feel like for our generation, the anime that sort of brought back that boom of like, hey, isekais are cool, is a Sword Art Online.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
At least like as far as
definitely.
mainstream goes, definitely.
Yeah, like
SAO,
mainstream, yeah.
SAO.
Did you guys ever watch SAO?
God, no.
I watched I tried watching the first season, but then I think like in season 2 or 3 they brought in guns, and it just got really really extra from there on.
Yeah, that's the same for me, Kai. Like I watched the first season, I thought it was fine, especially the first half. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, the first half was solid.
Yeah, the first half was solid, but then after that I was like, all right. And then they introduced guns and all these other shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm done. And like, honestly, actually though, this is not even the first, because a lot of people don't even know that this isn't the first like trapped in a video game anime. Have you guys ever heard of the series called Dot Hack?
I
would
yes.
see it around like the school library, and that was about it.
It's like an older one.
Yeah, Dot Hack.
It's
one of the first ones that's about like characters being trapped in a video game world. And I was first introduced to this because there was like a video game series for this, actually, like back for the PS2. They had some game series about this, and I played those, and then I watched the animes based off of that, and those were fine. They're definitely very outdated, but they were all right. But yeah, the Die Hack series is more one of the first ones that sort of introduced isekai sort of angle of being trapped in the video game, which I feel like a lot of isekais nowadays are kind of that angle of more of like MMORPG video game aesthetic kind of world, you know, like shows like Overlord, SAO, different ones like that. I feel like a Log Horizon 2, which I hear is a much better show about that sort of like does a better job of like saying what's like to play an MMORPG, but I don't know, I never watched it, but I heard good things about that one. And then like two with a lot of these isekais is that a lot of them come from, as we mentioned earlier, like light novels, where a good chunk of them and like a good chunk of them aren't even done. Like, and for those who don't know, a light novel is basically just like a book with very few pictures, and then they get adapted into a manga, and then they get an anime. So they start with like a light novel first, and then they get a manga, then they get an anime. And different shows like ReZero, SAO, Konosuba, from the Irregulars too. Like those ones started as like light novels that eventually got a manga, and then they got anime adaptations. And like a lot of these light novels too, like they're fucking long. Like I hear that, like Overlord for example, I hear like there's so much shit going on, and how like 3 seasons they barely scratched the surface, or how like recently actually I just saw how like if ReZero adapted everything, it would take like 8 seasons or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, that's
ReZero is fucking ridiculous. That shit's long.
God damn, that's a lot. I've never watched ReZero though. I've heard good things though.
I watched a couple.
Have you guys watched ReZero?
Yeah, I've watched the first couple 3-4 episodes, and I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I saw like the first like 2 episodes in like the anime club, but that was it. It didn't really like interest me too much.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday I'll check out ReZero, because I haven't really honestly seen that many, I guess, newer isekais, like a lot of the isekais that we see nowadays. But what are some of the isekais that you guys have seen, like anime that specifically is about being transported to another world? Off the top of your head, you know.
The classic Inuyasha.
Oh, definitely.
Very much like her falling into the well and stuff like that. That was my shit back in the day.
Absolutely. What about you, Cole? What was some isekais that you watched?
Well, most recently, it's like this one that's called, I'm probably gonna butcher the name, Mushoku Tensei, or Jobless Reincarnation. And so...
Oh, that sounds familiar, actually.
It's very funny, I'll tell you that now. It's really fucking funny. It's the same premise like I mentioned earlier when you told me to describe
I never...
what isekai is.
Right. I've never watched this one, but I watched Giguk's video about this, and like it looks great. It looks beautiful.
The animation is beautiful, and like the humor too, hilarious. Fucking top of the line.
Like it's like you were saying, it's about some like really creepy dude who just sucks at life, but then he gets reincarnated as a kid to basically just like restart his life pretty much. Yeah, like there's I feel like a lot of real quick, some of the isekais that I've seen are of course Digimon, which I didn't really think about that, but yeah, Digimon 100% is an isekai. It's about a group of kids that get transported to the digital world. Like that's an isekai.
I didn't think about it like that. I see.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like pretty much any anime where any character gets transported to a new world, that is an isekai. But that also makes you wonder. One of the questions that I was thinking while researching this is like, what about an anime where the entire show isn't about being in this new world? Like as we mentioned earlier, Bleach or Inuyasha, you know, like Ichigo, the first 20 episodes he starts off in the human world, and then the next 40 or so he like goes to the Soul Society to fight the Soul Reapers and stuff like that. But then eventually goes back to the human world. Like would you still consider that an isekai if they're able, or like same thing with Inuyasha where Kagome gets transported into the well to like the past, and then she constantly goes back and forth from the past to like her present. Is that still considered an isekai if the entire series doesn't take place in that new world?
I would say yes, but that's because a bunch of the animes that I've seen, a bunch of them, like, they want to, like, get back to their world, of course. Like, very few, like, actually get there. And in that case, that makes, like, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, like, an isekai for Toru, since she, like, keeps going back and forth. Occasionally, just, like, dump other dragons back into that other world.
Right. What about you, Kai? Would you agree with that? That even though those anime don't necessarily completely take place in a new world, they still are isekais?
Oh, definitely. Because like I feel like it's if it's anything that's not the normal world that they were previously residing in, then I feel like that definitely fits the bill.
Okay, then I feel like there's a lot more series that could be considered isekais then, because I didn't even think about Bleach in that perspective. And yeah, fucking right? Bleach is an isekai.
Yeah,
there
no,
you go.
I did not think about Bleach in that perspective too until you brought up Digimon.
Definitely, yeah. And like another thing too is that like a lot of isekais, these older ones, are about humans going to the fantasy world, but then there are also some shows that do the opposite, where they have the fantasy characters go to the human world. Like the perfect example, the show that I watched is The Devil is a Part-Timer. Have you guys heard of that one?
I love that one. I've seen it.
Yeah, that was a funny one. I enjoyed that one. That was a good series. I kind of wish they did more, but oh well. I'm sure there's like a light novel series of it that does more stuff.
There is.
But yeah, there's a lot of shows about being transported to another world. And like honestly too, like not even just anime too, like a lot of Western shows are technically isekai. Like I was looking at some examples, and like someone mentioned Alice in Wonderland. That's an isekai.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's
easily.
Yeah, Alice gets transported to another world.
It's so funny hearing that.
It is really.
Yeah, 100%. Fucking Samurai Jack is an isekai.
I see that.
Yep.
That's true.
He gets literally, the show is about him getting transported to the future.
And so many other worlds too.
Yeah, exactly. And like apparently there's an old school D&D cartoon, and it's about these kids. They go on this roller coaster, and then the end of the roller coaster takes them to a fantasy world like D&D. So that's an isekai too. And also even fucking the Super Mario Brothers cartoon. Like literally the premise of it is about Mario and Luigi. They're just two normal plumbers, and then they fall into a sewer, and then they get transported to the Mushroom Kingdom, and they have to fight Bowser and all of them from saving the princess and stuff like that. Like bam, Super Mario Brothers is an isekai. Like what the fuck? Like, there's so many anime that is just like, or so many shows that like, yeah, it's a fucking isekai. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. You don't really think about that stuff. But that's another thing too, is that like with so many isekais, do you guys think that like it's an oversaturated genre now, that there's just too much of it? or overrated or whatever you think?
In the beginning, I definitely felt that, but you know, now that I'm like chill and they've like chilled out, it's pretty okay now. They're moving on to other topics, that's for sure.
Man, I feel like it's actually the opposite for me. So how like back in the day there weren't as many, I guess, mainstream options for isekai, but now it feels like it does feel a bit oversaturated. But with that being said, I feel like the way that they go about with making these fantasy worlds that our characters are dropped into, that really has a big plays a big part in how that particular isekai goes for me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go with the like the same similar concept of like, oh, we have this hikikomori who got fucking dropped into a fantasy world and now he's like the hero and everything and has to live up to it. We have like 20 of those already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we really do. Just like guy with brown or black hair is transported to another world. He's completely boring as hell, but somehow all the girls just want to fuck him.
Exactly. Like give me a blonde dude for fucking once, or like
give me a redhead.
Yeah, you know.
So hot.
Yeah, no, I agree with Kai in the sense that like I feel like now it's become more oversaturated, but not necessarily in a negative way. But there are like a lot of shows that just have stupid gimmicks. Like I literally just remembered the show about this dude and his mother being transported to another world, and then the mom is like super powerful and stuff. It's like, what the fuck? That's so stupid.
Oh yeah.
Or like the shows where they get reincarnated in, or like characters will get reincarnated into like these random fantasy creatures, like we mentioned earlier, the one with the slime. And there's also one about a girl getting transformed into a fucking spider. It's like, it sounds so stupid. And like they're always super overpowered is usually my problem.
Yeah.
With a lot of these isekais. Like, I mean, that was the whole premise of Overlord. And like Overlord was fine too, because like it was about how this kid was like already super over leveled in like the MMORPG game that he had, and then he pretty much just like became that character that he was playing in the MMORPG. So it makes sense that he would be over leveled since he like sort of already worked on that kind of.
Yeah, he put in the work.
But then a lot of these characters, yeah, he put in the work. But a lot of these other characters, they just came out of nowhere. These fucking virgin losers, and now they're just super overpowered in these absolute chads. It's like, what the fuck? That's not real.
The hatred in his voice, that's what got me. It's virgin
real.
Losers.
It's not reality. You have to suffer like the rest of us. We
Yeah.
have to stay horny. Sucks.
Right.
You gotta hurt.
I agree. I'm a little mad, but that's fine. Honestly, though, I feel like there's not enough. I'm sure there are, but I feel like there's not any like characters who are already in a fantasy world being transported to a completely different fantasy world. You know what I mean? Like characters in a medieval setting being transported to like a sci-fi setting. I feel like that would be interesting, you know?
Ooh.
Instead of like someone from a normal world going to the fantasy world, like a fantasy world going to a completely different fantasy world, you know? Where like their sort of magic system have to combine with the magic system of this new world. I feel like that'd be interesting. Or it could also, I feel like combining both of those could potentially be a little too complex and too much, but I don't know, something to think about. I feel like would be a neat sort of change.
I definitely am really feeling like the sci-fi idea. Because as far as I can think off the top of my head, I can't recall any major like sci-fi themed animes, you know?
Not really.
Right?
Like, I mean, the closest thing in terms of isekai is like if they're transported to like some sort of game world. You know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like a specific like, oh, we have spaceships and shit types of world.
I want to see
like,
fucking
lightsabers
Star
on it.
Wars, but in an anime. Like
I
that's
know,
what I
like a
want to
couple
see.
sci-fi.
Which actually, speaking of Star Wars anime, I think there actually is a Star Wars anime coming out.
Really? Hold on.
Yeah, Star Wars Visions. That's what it is.
Interesting. Okay.
It's gonna be a Disney Plus. I totally forgot all about this.
Oh man, it's got like the 3D graphics too. Holy shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this looks tight.
Damn, yeah, it does look kind of tight.
Let's see what else. Was there anything else that I wanted to say? Look at my notes real quick. Just cut all this out. Oh yeah, this question. Okay, I just actually recently came up with this question before we started. Isekais are all about being transported to another world, and I feel like a lot of people, especially when they're, we're kids and stuff like that. Like I've thought about this too as a kid. Is like, oh man, this anime is so cool. I wish I could be transported to this anime, which makes me ask the question: if you could be transported to any anime world that's completely different from like the human world, which anime would you want to be in?
Shit.
I need to think. Hold on.
Like it can't be like a world that's similar to ours. It's got to be completely different.
Okay,
my answer, easy, super easy, either Digimon or Pokemon.
Why did I know you were going to say that? Why did I know?
I mean, shit, dude.
Fair enough.
Probably more Digimon, because I feel like Pokemon's pretty much just the real world, but, with animals. We're like Digimon, it's actually their own specific digital world that's completely different,
And they got guns.
They do got guns. Digimon transform into guns.
I know we just shitted on it earlier, but I kind of would love to be dropped into Sword Art Online. Just because I grew up playing okay, hold on, Cole. Hold on. I grew up playing these kinds of video games, and I always thought it'd be kind of lit if this was a real life thing.
Oh, definitely. I mean, in that case, I would love to be in either Final Fantasy 14, which is an MMORPG.
There you go.
Or or Wizard 101.
No! Why that one?
Wizard 101 is tight, You're a fucking wizard.
Tight. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Or fucking Maple Story. I don't know.
I would love to. Okay, Maple Story. Hands fucking down. You can take me there.
Oh, goddamn right. Goddamn right. What about you, Cole? Let's say that to make it easier. If it was like a game world, which one would you choose, Cole? I feel like I already know your answer with that.
Do you really know, DJ?
Probably.
All right,
Here,
say yours,
see if I'm right.
and I'll say what comes to my mind when you say that.
Okay. Is it Genshin Impact?
No, God, no.
Really?
As much as I love the characters in there, do you know how much of a hellscape it would be having to deal with fucking all those bosses and then gods taking away your powers and shit? God, no, I don't want that.
That makes sense.
I like the game. Spent a good amount of money on it, but I would not live there as much as I love Jean and all the other characters there.
I get that.
No, I would probably want to live in something a lot more peaceful. Fuck.
Animal
I mean,
Crossing.
It's not gonna be a video game world. But there was this one
Animal Crossing.
This one thing I was reading of this dude who died and he got reincarnated and he became a blacksmith. I want to live in that world instead, because that shit looks peaceful.
Okay, interesting. But actually, Cole, that reminds me too. Honestly, yeah, there's a lot of anime where it's just they're cool to watch, but I would not want to live in their world.
Fucking Attack on Titan.
Exact 100%.
I remember in high school, all those weebs. They'd be like, "Yeah, I want to kill Titans, all that shit." I'm like, "No, you don't.
Nah.
You can barely get up the stairs.
You're dead day one.
What are you talking about?
The fuck you will."
That's what I'm saying.
Or
but I'm thinking some of my
stuff.
favorite shows. I would, I would not want to be in One Piece. As cool as it is to just traverse the world and shit like that, One Piece is dangerous as shit, man. The government's corrupt, and there's just horrible shit happening all the time. The weather is just sort of out of nowhere. It could just
You're just
be
fucked.
raining one day. Yeah, just fucked. One Piece the world sucks.
-5 out of 10.
There's a lot of
anime.
anime.
Live again.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of anime where it's just yeah, they're cool, but I would not want to live there. The fuck?
Maybe if I was those characters that I have in Genshin, that would be something. But no,
yeah.
If it was just
drop
me
me there as a normal.
Yeah, just drop me there as I am right now. I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, I won't live longer than 5 hours. I'll pass.
Yeah, no,
I'll be out in the wilderness
definitely.
eating berries and shitting myself to death.
Stop.
Oh god.
My favorite one is Konosuba, but everyone watches that shit. Let's go.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, there we go. What's your favorite isekai? So Cole likes Konosuba. I haven't seen that one, but I definitely need to.
It is so funny.
I know it's one of the funny animes. I definitely need to get into that. What about you, Kai? What would you say is your favorite anime within the isekai genre?
Inuyasha. Always.
Inuyasha?
It's just such a classic for me, you know?
Oh, definitely. I haven't finished it, but I watched a good chunk. I need to get back into it and finish
I got
it.
very, very close to finishing. So I need to do that soon.
I just remember like bits and fragments of when it would like come on, like Adult Swim late at night.
Yeah,
when all the cartoons were gone.
Dude, I remember I had like, there was this one game store that used to be relatively close to me that like had the entire first season of Inuyasha for like $10.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh fuck yeah. I watched the shit out of that. And that was great. But yeah, I definitely need to get back into Inuyasha, especially since they have that one series that's like a continuation about their kids.
Yeah.
So definitely need to get into that. Yeah. What is my favorite? What? Impossible. I mean, off the top of my head, I guess my favorite isekai would have to be Bleach now. I don't know. Honestly, haven't
That's fair.
watched that many isekais, really.
I mean, you watched that Restaurant to Another World, but then again, you didn't really vibe with it too well. So I was looking at a list of like isekai anime, and that was like one of them. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. They do have like a magical fucking door.
Yes, they do. Yeah, no, not that one. I prefer more like action shows. But I mean, that one was still good. It was still nice. It was still a nice change of pace. But yeah. Okay, well then in that case, wait. Yeah, okay. In that case, what would you say is your least favorite isekai?
Fucking, I haven't even watched this shit, but the title already throws me off. The slime one? The one I mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah.
What? I saw the title one day on Kiss Anime, and I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this? But yeah.
Kai, you probably just triggered so many people.
I know.
So many.
It's okay. I'll check out the first episode.
Could have just gotten like an extra 100 subs. That's fine. What about you, Cole? What would you say is your least favorite isekai?
I'm trying to think. Because I don't want to say Sword Art Online, because I mean, there's like still like some goodness to it, but there's also
Yeah.
I mean, I personally wouldn't watch it.
Same, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard.
I'm just gonna say Tokyo Revengers because I fucked it up myself by watching like the whole recap and so the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this is so fucking annoying. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Okay, that's fair.
It was, again, my fault, but at the same time, it kind of ruined it. Maybe it's because of the anime site I was using. They put like the recap as episode like 0, and so it started from there. I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah,
why is it giving me like a fast pace, like pacing for the fucking anime? And so I was like, what?
It's okay.
Lost.
It's the anime site's
Definitely.
fault. It's not yours.
Yeah, fuck the anime site. Man, for me, that's hard. I haven't really seen enough isekais to like make that decision. Like, I can't even remember all the anime that I watched. I've just watched so many that I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let me at least look at like the shows that I've watched this year, because something that I'm trying to do is like with my channel, make a top 10 list. And so I wrote down like at least the anime that I want to watch for this year. For facts, let's see. What did I watch?
I kind of want to change my answer now.
An isekai. Oh, what's your new answer?
Of The Promised Neverland. It was so good at first, and then like as we got closer towards like the ending of it, it just felt like underwhelming. It was just super underwhelming. Right. They were leading up to so much shit.
I get that. Yeah, I feel like
you know what?
They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. That's my answer too. Because like I was super excited to watch Promised Neverland season 2 because I read the manga and I was like, oh, this shit's gonna be bopping. And then I watched a video talking about all the shit they changed and how it's so bad now. I'm like, fuck,
they really dropped the ball on that one.
I hate it when like animes have like a really good first season and they drop the ball so hard in the second season.
That does indeed happen with a lot of animes, though, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Because you start off strong and now you're shit, and I don't want to watch you anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Oh well, I mean that's just how it is in the biz sometimes.
It is indeed.
Just blue ball the hell out of you.
They really they edged us the whole ride, and then as soon as we got towards the climax, it was like, nope, nothing.
It just takes it away.
Damn it!
They just left you there.
Just let me there, dick in my hand, just crying.
Crying at the club.
All right, and on that note, that is the rest of our topic on the isekai genre as a whole. A lot of good shit for the isekai genre. Definitely very huge nowadays. It's good. I definitely need to watch more isekais after this conversation. But yeah. So next episode, we're gonna talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 2. Battle Tendency on our quest to catch up to JoJo Part 6.
Fuck yeah!
It's gonna take forever.
Kai, yeah, definitely, yeah. Kai especially, what are your predictions for what's gonna happen for Part 2 before we start?
Well, I'm assuming it's gonna continue with JoJo's child, where I know they escaped the ship in like the coffin that was meant for Dio. So I assume it's gonna continue with that child, if I'm correct. Or no? Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, I said I don't know.
Okay,
I
fair.
guess we'll have to find out.
We'll see.
I want to do my best to like not spoil you, Kai, on anything about JoJo.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I will definitely be starting it up.
Okay, tight. So yeah, next episode we'll talk about JoJo Part 2 Battle Tendency. And then thank you guys for watching. Let us know your thoughts on these anime, or you can give us recommendations on some of your favorite isekai genre anime, especially for me since I haven't seen that many. You can listen to us on Spotify and other audio platforms to get the podcast an hour early than the visual version. If you want more of us, me and Cole have a Let's Play channel called Videoverse with two of our other friends where we play all kinds of games. Speaking of Videoverse, one of the members, Gavin, and I have another podcast called Overload Games where we talk about JRPGs and other sort of video game news. So if you want to check all that out, links will be in the description. And also I have my own personal channel called Mushrooman where I do comedic reviews where I talk about and make fun of different anime, movies, and video games. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys very much for listening to us, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.